How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shayne. I'm back with another movie review, and this review is for BeetleJuice BeetleJuice. So before we get started, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more reviews just like this one. And if you want to support me even further, my Patreon link is in the description below. With that being said, it's showtime. The cult classic, literally 36 years in the making, a movie as old as I am. It literally took 36 years to get this, which Tim Burton is jokingly like, oh man, it'll take I'll be 100 by the time if we try to do a third one. And in my mind, I'm just like, just do another one in 4 or 5 years. I apologize for the sound of my voice. I got super sick last week. Basically, I got really sick. I'll leave it at that. It's crazy, but I'm here. I'm feeling better, sounding like a black Fran Drescher, but I'm here. So this is the cult classic, and it is a cult classic. I don't actually remember. I can actually just look this up right now. I don't remember the first Beetlejuice movie being like. It wasn't like Avengers level type movie, right? It's not like big budget or anything like that, but 100% cult classic. If you have not seen that movie, go watch that movie before you go out and see this movie. Go watch the first Beetlejuice. Really, really good movie. A movie of its time. One of the best late 80s movies you could ever watch. As a matter of fact, the movie was, I don't want to say it was so good, because some people, when you say good, some people do metrics of how much money did it make, or some people do metrics of how actually good the movie is, and the movie is actually really good. Paced well. Your main antagonist, Beetlejuice himself, doesn't overstay his welcome. As a matter of fact, Beetlejuice has maybe one more minute of FaceTime in this new movie than he did in the last movie, and that was a good choice, because you don't want to overexpose the juice. As a matter of fact, the show did so well in the 80s. It had its own cartoon. At least, I want to say the cartoon at least had 3 seasons. I feel like it had 3 seasons because the WB Ghost Are Real channel on Roku has been 24-hour marathoning that cartoon since last Saturday. As a matter of fact, it is now streaming. Friends said it's now streaming on Tubi. So if you want to watch that cartoon, go watch it on Tubi. People make fun of Tubi. Tubi got good stuff on it. The budget for the original movie was $15 million and a box office draw of $75.1 million. They made back their money and then some. And it's kind of weird that it took a while for it to get a sequel, right? Usually things like this, they make money, gets tons of things from the mind of Tim Burton, his visual stylings. One thing to make note of, because I love reading credits, Brad Pitt is an executive producer on here. I don't know if that matters, but WB, please work with Tim Burton to do a third movie, especially with how this movie ended, but I'll get to that in a second. The tone was set the moment they played the Beetlejuice theme, the original theme by Danny Elfman. Granted, it's touched up a bit, because the original theme had the daylight come and me one go home. I guess you could say Harry Belafonte's songs were at the forefront for that first movie, given the time period for it. Like, the movie starts in like when does that movie? I can't remember when that movie starts. I know canonically, it's in the 80s. I don't remember how long the Maitlands were dead though, but the musical styles that they had was of that. In this one, we have, pardon me, MacArthur Park, famously sung by Donna Summer. That version is in this movie, but the prominent one for like the best scene in the movie, the original version by Richard Harris, such as somber Donna Summer's version is, of course, a little bit more upbeat than the Richard Harris version, but the Richard Harris version for that scene I'm going to talk about in a minute. Best song to pick for that. Yeah, I did say, well, I hope we get a sequel at least in 3 to 4 years. It writes itself. First movie is BeetleJuice, second movie is BeetleJuice BeetleJuice. Then you get BeetleJuice BeetleJuice. Why wouldn't you do that? Plot. What's the plot? So what's the plot of the first movie? Plot of the first movie is a couple unexpectedly die. Now they have to deal with this family moving in, and they have to deal with this poltergeist demon guy who wants them to get him to help them to terrorize people. But the demon also wants to marry the daughter of the people who have moved in here. Overlaying plot. And I haven't watched anybody else's reviews on it because I'm going to be honest, I really don't give a shit what anybody else thinks about this movie. I like this movie. I like this movie a lot. I've been fighting myself with going out to watch it again. I will watch this movie again. And as a matter of fact, as soon as it comes out available on video in some sort, I'm buying it. I watch BeetleJuice every year, literally every year, around the appropriate holiday season, around Halloween. There's even been times when I just watch it in the middle of the year. That good. As a 90s kid, I love the movie, love the series. I wish I still had my BeetleJuice toys where I had the big top one and I had the one where he had swords that stuck in him. But what's the plot? What's the plot? Plot for this one is Lydia Dietz. She's grown up. She's seeing BeetleJuice everywhere, and all of a sudden her father has passed away. On top of all that, with BeetleJuice trying to contact her and get her again, so he can get to the land of living, BeetleJuice's ex-wife Dolores appears, and now he has to run from her. So she's a literal soul sucker. Literally, I'll talk more about Dolores in a minute, but wow. So you have that plot, and now you have the plot of having to deal with Lydia's daughter who doesn't believe in her, thinks she's a fraud, doesn't believe in her abilities. Lydia can see the dead. You thought that she could only just see the Maitlands. No, she can see the dead. And then you get the other underlying plot of this evil teenager that tricks Lydia's daughter into giving up her life. So much like the first movie, where you think you start off with like a pretty basic plot, I don't want to say it's not complicated, but it ramps up as things go along, right? And for that plot, it's hard for me to rank a plot because some people might like it. I give it a 5 out of 5 because it makes sense if you're following where things are going. Second, the pace. The pace is the same as the last movie, where you start off slow, and I love the best thing you could have done. Not only using practical effects mixed in with modern effects, not only getting as many as the original actors as you couldn't get the original Charles because that guy, let's just say they not like us. He had some issues like that in the 90s, which is why his character got killed off. But we'll talk more about Charles later. Get as many of those guys as you can, and then you start the movie off exactly the same way as the first one. That was brilliantly done. Love that. Pacing, so well done. Because like I said before, the sequence of actions ramp up steadily. So, no complaint from me there. Music, as I touched on earlier, is a 5 out of 5. Just from the stylings of the amazing Danny Elfman to the Donna Summer and Richard Harris MacArthur Park, and just what there was another song. Do you even hear Carrie theme in there a little bit? Carrie's theme was mixed in there a little bit as well. Very, very well done. But that visual, the best scene, in my opinion, was the MacArthur Park in the church. BeetleJuice is about to get his end of the bargain fulfilled with marrying Lydia because he saved Astrid. So they got to get married. And of course, BeetleJuice is this super powerful, omnipotent demon. You know, in the cartoon, it's kind of a weird unspoken loose rule that his powers come from puns. Like whatever he says, it'll happen. Which is, I can understand why they got that from how they got that in the cartoon show. He kind of has the same thing here in the movies, where he can just say a thing, but at the same time he can just do a thing. Remember, the Maitlands are the one that did the whole Dale scene, making everyone at the dinner dance, and BeetleJuice can do the exact same thing with having Lydia, Astrid, Delia, even the priest who has been there since the beginning, because it's supposed to be a funeral and homegoing for Charles and stuff like that, and everyone doing the dance around the cake, and someone left the cake out in the rain. Just the miniature thundercloud and the water cascading on the cake, making everything kind of flow down. It's such an amazing looking scene. It's such a great visual for the somber song of Richard Harris, for everything that is just compiled in that one moment is so fantastically done. I don't even know if there's anything else I can say about it, especially because now we have more movie visual technology, right? So when he freezes the shitty boyfriend of Lydia, I forget who cares about his name, freeze him, freeze Astrid, and freeze Delia, the 3 points around the cake, while they're all frozen in that water that keeps cascading. It's so chef's kiss. Really, really, really well done. And this leads me into talking about the visuals, as I touched on before. A mixture of practical effects, modern effects. When explaining to Delia how her father Charles died, we get clay animation. The clay animation person looks just like that actor that played Charles from the first movie. He's on a plane crashes. Oh, did he die from a plane crash? No, actually, he had survived it, but then the shark came up and bit him. And then so Charles is in the movie where all of this is just gone, just bitten in half. And it's so funny because you get a surfer guy, when he takes his ticket, he's still able to talk. I don't know how. He just sounds kind of watered up like that. But when he takes a ticket to take a seat, you got a surfer guy who has no lower half, and they're both like, yeah, because they both got killed by sharks, right? Where's my other one? Yeah, Bob. Remember the Shrunken Head guys? Bob, who is the leader of the Shrunken Head guys. They all work for BeetleJuice, who's a call manager. I don't know what BeetleJuice actually does, but he's available in the underworld to be called up by the underworld police, played by William Dafoe. I'll get to Green Goblin in a second, but Bob's the little Shrunken Head people, very well done. However, I don't even know how they did that. The soul sucking from Dolores. Oh, rest in peace, Bob. Like, I love that towards the end of the movie when they're talking about the different characters and they go over the name tag characters. Don't use real names. It's just Bob, Dylan, this guy. But Bob has an in memory of Bob, 1374 to 2024. And the look of when the soul sucking Delia takes his soul, the laundromat guy's soul, Danny DeVito's soul, they all just kind of shrivel up and shrink down. That was well done. It's much more visceral. Remember I told you could see Charles's bitten torso, his blood splatting up. You even get some blood on Delia's face when they reconnect at the end. You get after Lydia's punk ass boyfriend, who doesn't believe any of this either. Tarzan BeetleJuice shot that truth serum into him. The gags in here are good. The gags are gagging, guys. The gags are doing their thing. He just says, we got to get you through this manic episode. He says the name BeetleJuice 3 times. So when they're in there, BeetleJuice sews up Lydia's lips and makes her get pregnant and pop out a little BeetleJuice baby that looks like if you mix BeetleJuice and Chucky together. Frightening. The little thing was biting her leg just rapidly. Thing shows up again in a dream sequence, which I need to make sure I talk about. Yeah. I'm just gonna write this in right now. because I want to talk about that a little bit more, because they swerved me really well. What was another part when BeetleJuice was like, I spilled my guts, literally mid torso explodes with purpley bluish guts, so much more visceral. It feels as if, because the first movie was creepy, it feels as if, okay, well, we're in 2024, I'm Tim Burton, I'm gonna see how much I can push WB, and I can push this envelope to see if I can get more stuff put in here. Very, very, very well done. So Danny DeVito, he plays this janitor. You see him after a French-speaking graffiti artist cursing out Delia, and dude is so full of himself, he falls down a manhole, instantly dies. And Danny DeVito's there drinking Drano, looking like not Penguin, but Penguin, right? William Dafoe is there as a cop who in life was a B movie actor. I would please do a third movie, and I hope in the third movie you explain how some of these people get roles, right? Because Astrid, Delia's ex-husband, because she said they had drifted apart before he died, because he died mysteriously in the Amazon, and when we see him, he has a bunch of piranhas on him. He has a job working and processing people. BeetleJuice has a job. William Dafoe's character is a police officer, making sure that the dead don't go over and that the over don't come over there and people don't escape and everything else like that. And you got the soul sucker, stuff like that. Oh, part of the visuals, Dolores, played by Monica Bellucci. That visual of, because Danny DeVito's character accidentally shocks her body to life. She's cut up into several different parts. Every part is moving individually. Just looking at her arm coming on for her to staple her body parts together. That was so cool looking. I don't want to say it stops the movie, but it is a whole scene in and of itself. And it's so well done. It is probably, after the cake in the rain scene, this is probably my second favorite scene visually. Very, very, very well done. The Maitlands are gone, right? When Astrid said, well, okay, what happened to the ghost up there? You said, she said the Maitlands found a loophole. And loopholes are explored a little bit more in this movie, such as how Astrid had saved her mom after saving them again, because was it the shitty boyfriend and Dolores, she made a hole, sandworm comes out, eats the both of them. But I love that Lydia was like, I'm not saving you. There's loopholes explored in here, such as, if you want to get your body back, well, a human has to say a chant and then go through, and they agreed to give up their life for your own. Or if you don't stamp this, it's not permanent. And I'm gonna get to that part in a second too. BeetleJuice's entire contract he made with Lydia being null and void. Astrid pointed out, well, when you brought Delia back over, you broke the rules, and when you brought my mom over there, you also broke the rules. So this whole contract is null and void. So just the way they got rid of him was kind of like, I didn't see that coming. I was wondering how they could get rid of him, because his contract said they can't say his name, and when you found that loophole, that's how you can get rid of him. So you have this first movie is about accepting where you are in life, or accept the Maitlands died, right? Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, which I wish we could have got Alec Baldwin here, but I get it. Everything that's going on with him and that whole set of Rust thing, I get it. I wish he could have shown up somehow, kind of just did a little nod to Lydia, because Lydia, ex Astrid's dad, he made it clear. He's like, you guys couldn't see me, but I watch over you guys. I'm watching you. So it is possible for those things to happen, right? So the first movie is about, accepting your lot in life and in life/death. This movie seems to be more about moving together with grief and being in the present. Because, the bad boy, he wants to get his life back again, even though he's been dead for 23 years. BeetleJuice his whole deal is like, I'm trying to get back here. And it feels as though the series feels like a lot of people die super suddenly, which, yeah, that happens in life. So it feels as if when when these characters die quickly and after having the time of processing it, they're still not over it, which probably why a lot of them are stuck around haunting. We get BeetleJuice's origins in Spanish. So I mentioned Dolores being his ex-wife, right? BeetleJuice, back during the time of the Black Plague, he was a grave robber. He was robbing stuff, and he found this lady. He saw this lady. They got married. They had carnal pleasures, all said in Spanish, by the way, subtitles and all. And she poisoned him. But she was a witch that's part of a soul-sucking cult. So her whole deal was get married, kill your husband, then she could be immortal. What she didn't count on is that poison working slow enough that BeetleJuice grabs an axe and chops her ass up. So she's trying to find him so she could get his soul, all the while sucking everybody else's souls. I did not expect to get a BeetleJuice origin in here. Although I remember when I first saw the first trailer last year, and you see the lady, and I saw, and initially she had a missing ring finger. I said, oh, that was her finger that BeetleJuice threw out. So they gotta fight his ex? Is that what and I'm glad it wasn't just that. Because the first movie had plot on top of plot on top of plot. Lydia wanted to be dead like the Maitlands. The Maitlands trying to figure out how to get the people out of their house, having to accept things that are going on. They get the BeetleJuice factor coming in. And then I'm glad it wasn't cookie cutter. Here's this evil lady. We got to help the former bad guy. Although the former bad guy does end up helping them, right? So the bad guy boy, who's been dead for 23 years, kills his parents. And I felt something was off. Maybe it's because I watched a lot of different things. But you feel like things are off, right? When she comes over for Halloween to hang out, and you don't see his mom's face. And then you don't see his dad's face. But then his dad is watching Wheel of Fortune. I hear the Wheel of Fortune music. And I say, well, people don't really watch Wheel of Fortune like that nowadays. No offense, Pat Sajak. Say they don't, though. They really don't. But I digress. It just felt off. So when he kisses Astrid and they're floating in the air, and voila, it comes out that he's actually dead and she can see ghosts. In my mind, I'm going, the parents are already ghosts. And she didn't want her mom to meet his parents. As it's like, you can see where this is going. Yeah, you can see where this is going. This is my third favorite scene in the movie, when he's trying to get it stamped. And BeetleJuice is actually the one stamping it. And it says, you're shit out of luck. And he says the one F-bomb that you get in these movies. He says, get fucked. And he's a get fucked kid. Pulls the lever, sends him straight to hell. It's wow. It's funny. 2 of my 3 favorite scenes involve BeetleJuice, and this one wasn't super long, but I like the fact that you're going, oh damn, it's too late. He's gonna stamp it, and Astrid's dead, and she has to get on the Soul Train, which is literally like the Soul Train. You get a guy that looks like Don Cornelius. Everyone's doing disco and dancing and all that. That's where you get the Donna Summer version of MacArthur Park. And turns out BeetleJuice saves the day. He's upholding his end of the bargain, which him being so semi-omnipotent is not jarring, but it's fun that it's explored even more. Because when they're trying to split up and run, BeetleJuice's like, I got something I got to take care of. You got Delia that called him over for him to grab her and for them to do other stuff. And he still shows up before the dude stamps the thing to uphold his end of that bargain. Where else am I at over here? So Delia is also dead. She is she obviously really loved Charles because so she says he left me. Not that he died, said he left me. He's divorcing you? No, he's dead. She's grieving. They got a big ass grief sheet over that old house. They're going to sell the house because, apparently Charles is the one that wanted the house. She hated the house. And in all of her grief stuff, where she's like, I got these asps, because, in ancient Egypt, they would do the thing, and it's a symbol of love. And Astrid, who reminds me of cartoon Lydia, because how smart she is, she goes, actually, they were kind of a feared thing, and they're an enemy of one of the gods. She's like, no, that can't be right. Delia swears up and down that the snakes are defanged. And we get these 3D snakes. And when she's on Charles's grave, which has this translucent gravestone with his face on it, didn't even bother to look at his years of life. Snakes bite her on both sides, and now she's dead, and she's freaking out. She's like, "Nope, I can't be here." And you got duped, you got scammed. I did not see that coming. Them killing her off, and it works in here because she obviously really loves Charles, and I don't think she would have wanted to keep going on without him. And she's still so full of herself that when she reaches up with Charles, she's like, look what's happened to me, with a little splat of blood from his tracheal tube landing on her face. Just wow. Lydia's been psychically pursued by BeetleJuice. I liked the representation of that. It's like a flip side of all those horror movies you see where like the demon and the evil ghost is kind of creeping in on the person. BeetleJuice like, yeah, no, I know we have a psychic connection, and I'm just trying to get her to see me. I think she saw me that one time. I like that aspect of it. Saving my ending talks for last. Astrid. What an asshole. Jenna Ortega plays angsty teen so well because it was annoying the hell out of me. I'm like, why are you so mean to your mom? It's not your mom's fault that your dad died. It's not your mom's fault that she can't. So she's like, of all the shitty ghosts that you can see and talk to, how come you can't see him? She's like, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't work that way. So she basically hates her mom, has her mom as alleged mom in her phone, while her mom is trying to call her to tell her that your grandfather has died. They have to go up there, and you have Delia yelling for Astrid, like, stop being mom to your mom. Your mommy's daddy has died. And she's wailing, and, they go back to the setting of the first movie. I forget the name of that town. I don't really care enough to figure out the name of that town, but yeah, it's like, stop being an ass to your mom. Stop being an ass to your mom. But eventually, when she sees that ghosts are real, and when she realizes, oh shit, I'm in trouble, and the lengths that her mother went through to get her, and just, I don't know if it sullies it, but I like the fact that her dad sat both of them down and said, don't let me be the reason why you two drift apart. He loves both of them. You could tell that Lydia, still loved her husband, still hadn't really, her ex-husband or whatever, still hadn't gotten over his death, which did drive a wedge between them, which it makes sense on how Miss Ortega is her daughter now, when you see, dad, South American, Spanish. He was about saving the rainforest, went missing, he died. But I like that the rift between them was mended. It is funny that she also calls Delia, not Grandma, Delia. That's also really funny to me. I do appreciate the fact that she doesn't call her mom by her first name. So it shows that, there's a rift there, but it's not super wide. She even still asks her mom if it's okay she goes to the thing with the boy. Of course, her mom lets her because, Lydia is the shit. And she's super smart. So she says she believes in facts. she reminds me, as mentioned earlier, she reminds me of Lydia from the cartoon show, because in the cartoon show, Lydia is super duper smart. Like she does all these weird science things, but she does weird artsy stuff as well. Like takes pictures of bugs, writes reports on things. She's smart, outdoorsy, less of shut-in emo, more of golf girl that does things. And her daughter gives the golf girl emo thing. She has really good comebacks. Like she snaps back great. Snaps back at the shitty boyfriend who's obviously using her mom. Snaps back at the girls who like put a little ghost in her room, and she says, when you're all 30 and you're your second husband, I'm gonna get the last laugh. It's just snappy. She's also in an all-girl school as well. Don't know what it is about the deets that's going into all-girl schools, but yeah, you know, if it works, it works. I already mentioned that the boyfriend and Dolores got eaten by a sandworm. I like that. She's more or less the reason for that, because she finds the book, reads through the book really fast, the guide for the recently deceased, figures out how to do all that stuff really fast. She's smart. I like that. I like that she is the brains, while Lydia is more of the, could you call her the soul? I guess you can call her the soul, right? Love that. Just BeetleJuice cartoon. I don't regret spending many hours while I've been recovering watching that series. It did prepare me for this movie, because you can't get enough of BeetleJuice. But I'm glad for the movie that they didn't push too much BeetleJuice on us. I already mentioned the afterlife thing with her dad, which I'm still trying to figure that. Sandworms are back. We get the more full body version first of with the eyes, and they're going through. We even see, I like that Astrid says, okay, that's Saturn, so we're obviously on one of its moons. The afterlife is really, really confusing, which I love that, because it's weird, right? Outside of it being 1988 and Dune was a thing like 2 to 5 years prior within where the first movie happened. Why are there sandworms? Like, I get that if you're stuck and you're bound to an area, if you step out, you're on Saturn, and then sandworms are going to come out and eat you. Even in the cartoon, they made it seem like sandworms can come out of nowhere sometimes. In the neither world, they didn't use nether world, but in the neither world in the cartoon. Here, they're still on Saturn, but I love that she mentions this is random as hell. I like how the sandworms look, where you first see that outer shell, then it being kind of influenced by aliens, where that second mouth comes out, and that's when the eyes that we all know appeared and come out of there. I already mentioned Soul Train. Appearance love. She made the deal with a literal demon to get you back, to go, all right, fine, I'll marry you. Let's go save my daughter, though. Right? And they both love Halloween. Halloween's their favorite holiday. And this is technically a Halloween movie, because the night that all this crap happens, it happens on Halloween, when Lydia's supposed to get married to this dude that she's settling for, who makes a big deal out of proposing to her during her father's wake. It's so cringy, done so well. One other scene I forgot, right before that cake in the rain scene, which this goes for the visuals. So dude invited a bunch of influencers just so it can go viral, because Lydia has a ghost show, right? It's ghosting your home. So she tries to help people, have ghosts pass on and move out of their homes, right? Which very reminiscent of stuff like Ghost Adventures. There's another show I watched, Ghost Brothers, stuff like that, right? So this guy is supposed to be her manager and her boyfriend who preyed on her after, she was grieving over the death of Astrid's father. And he said, well, let's get married on your favorite holiday, Halloween, which was in 2 days. Fall looks really nice wherever they are. I'm guessing it's California, but fall looks really nice. So it's a Halloween movie through and through. And maybe that's why a lot of the different things was happening, because of that that time period. I kind of wish we had saw more ghouls and ghosts and things on the mortal plane, because when BeetleJuice made the bomb to blow up his office so they could sneak in the back way, all of his little shrunken head people running out. Rest in peace, Bob. So I need a part 3, because that ending scene where I said, wow, okay, so Delia quits and she spends some more time with her daughter. Then her daughter finds a dude when they go visit the Dracula's castle, because that's the thing that she wanted to do with her dad. Dudes are with her mom, meets a boy, then gets married and is pregnant and has a BeetleJuice baby. That's the swerve. When she has the BeetleJuice baby, that's why I was like, oh, this isn't real, but it got me. It got me real good. She wakes up and BeetleJuice goes, man, I just had a weird dream. Then she wakes up again and there's no one beside her in the bed. Literally, you're telling us BeetleJuice is still out there. Even though when they beat him, he, inflated and exploded. Saying I should have got married in Vegas. Oh my God, please. If that third movie is in Vegas, that would be really funny. But, I'm wondering, maybe BeetleJuice becomes a good guy out of that third movie. He is an evil, semi-omnipotent demon, and he was contracted to help in this second movie, even though he also was contracted to help at the end of the first movie. When you think about it, when Lydia's like, fine, I'll marry you, just stop them from dying, and he reverses it. So he's bound by laws and contracts, which I guess makes him more of a devil than a demon. But he definitely, I don't know, it's weird, because the cartoon show is completely different. There's not an antagonistic relationship between him and Lydia, although his mischievousness, short-sightedness, greed, every other bad trait is, dialed up because it's a cartoon in that show, and he's quite annoying to everybody around him, even the people who he calls friends. I wonder if any of that can be drawn into the third movie. Maybe not, but I'm hoping and praying that we get a third movie. You have to make a BeetleJuice. Then don't make any more. Then stop. No more. No reboots. No remakes. You can remaster, I guess, but no, you don't know the remasters. Re-release it in the way it is, but make a third movie, please. All in all, I love this movie. It is not better than the first one. It is just as amazing as the first one. It is the Aliens to Alien. It is the T2 to T1, although I argue that Terminator 2 is a lot better. I like Terminator 2 more than Terminator 1, but that's a preference thing. It is, I was going to say it's the Empire Strikes Back, but people say Empire Strikes Back is the best movie in the series. But yes, no, it is the Aliens to Alien, Terminator 2, Terminator 1. It is the Back to the Future 2 to Back to the Future 1. It is as equally as good as that movie, and I look forward to rewatching this film a shit ton. Go out and watch this. It is worth your money, especially if you it doesn't matter if you watch it for a matinee or if you watch it at night. Go watch this movie. Worth your time. 5 out of 5 all the way. Michael Keaton does his thing. Winona Ryder does her thing. Kevin McAllister's mom, Catherine O'Hara, she does her thing. So much fun. With that being said, let me know what you think of the movie in the comment section down below. Do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more things like this. And if you want to support me even further, my Patreon link is in the description below. Guys, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me go crazy over the juice, the BeetleJuice. Be good, be blessed. Wash your hands, drink some water. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk, all right? Remember that people out there that care about you. Hell, there's somebody that cared about Charles, right? There's somebody that cares about all of us. So remember, if you're feeling down, reach out to someone. Talk to somebody. There are people out there that would rather, see you and talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I guarantee it. I'm going to go ahead and go, but if you want to contact me, my social medias are also in the description below. Send me a message, say hi, just don't be a jerk about it, and we'll be good. All right. I'm going to go drink some more vitamin C, take care of myself. Guys, be good. The juice is loose. It's showtime.